Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today we definitely have a topic that I think is something that's always bothered me, and it kind of stresses me out when it comes to social relationships and social interactions with others, and just how much confusion can stem from things. And I think in a lot of ways, especially when I was younger, I kind of became accustomed to this, or like kind of in this type of pattern to some extent. I think a lot of people end up, it's almost kind of like being a brat. You know, it's like being a brat, but you're not necessarily trying to be. There is this very complex issue where, as humans, I think we want to give gifts, we want to be giving, nice to people. It's kind of in our nature, and there's a significant amount of attention that is put on these things. It's not good to be selfish. It's good to do things for others. It's good to help other people. But what happens when somebody's way of showing this love or care or affection doesn't land with another person? What happens when it's not good enough? Now, it's easy to cast this aside as just a simple matter of somebody being ungrateful. And maybe it is that ultimately, but I think there is a larger reason for this phenomenon. I don't know which one it would be, phenomenon or phenomena. I'm always like tripping up over that. There's a larger reason for this idea. So sometimes somebody gives you a gift, or they do something for you out of the kindness of their heart, but you just can't appreciate it. It's this dilemma, it's this conundrum where I'm going to use like a really easy example because I think this example makes the most sense. Let's say somebody really tried hard to make you a meal, you know, cook you like a special dinner, it's your birthday, and they try really hard and they're so happy to give it to you and have you eat it with them, but you put it in your mouth and it tastes horrible. Like, this person's just not good at making food. What do you do in that situation? It's much more important, I think, than a lot of us realize, because yeah, I mean, one person can lie, but one person lying is usually going to lead to, I guess, more problems. Because if you lie and you act grateful for the food when you're really despising it, then that reinforces to the other person that maybe they should cook more. They enjoyed making the food, so why not try again? Why not give it another go. See what happens. You liked it so much the other time, you know? And then if you're honest with the person, think about how hurtful it is, how much it hurts the other person. We get spoiled very easily nowadays, and this affects both parties involved with an exchange like this. In this type of exchange, you have somebody who is trying to be nice and kind and putting in effort, but their effort is not noticeable. Their effort is basically to waste, and the other person doesn't really feel cared for. Now, I think a lot of us will, and in my case, I kind of feel, because I care about effort a lot. I understand what it's like to try to do something for somebody else. And so when I see somebody act like that, what are you supposed to do? Now, what I was saying is that the modern... Yeah, sorry, I went down a thought. I totally lost my train of thought. What I'm saying with how it exaggerates and affects and impacts both members of each party is that we're kind of used to things, I think, being much better than they should be nowadays. And what I mean by that is, it's pretty easy and cheap to purchase a lot of stuff that is pretty good. The craftsmanship is pretty high grade. It kind of nullifies a lot of arts and crafts because we basically have this manufacturing process where, you can get some really nice things made from a machine. A machine has a certain precision to it. I mean, you think about how high quality an iPhone is. The metal, the glass, the precision, the allure, obviously what the iPhone can do. A phone is just so interesting, and the craftsmanship is so high. It's not even that expensive. It doesn't really take any effort, and you get a lot of potency for it. I think in the past, we didn't really have as much things to buy. The things you could buy, the craftsmanship was not necessarily as intricate or as interesting. Sometimes it was nice for somebody to make us a little craft. But nowadays, it's kind of a harder thing to sell. A lot of the artistry, I mean, we talk about artificial intelligence taking away human art, but what about how factories have already done that? Yeah, I mean, factories can make superior things. I'm sure, especially for mass production, but I'm sure somebody hand building a car has a certain artistry to it that mass produced stuff just does not have the same meaning. It just can't. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible for it to have the same degree of meaning. as if somebody took all the parts and put them together. So there's an artistry lost in that, in this consumeristic and mass-produced society. There's an artistry that's lost. Efficient, yes. More optimal, perhaps, but human, no. And AI is only the next manifestation, or rather a process in this evolution. It's just another stage. It's not like this is something that has just happened now. It's human intention. It's a disrespect. It's a disrespect of the arts. There's a lack of respect for the arts. A lack of care, a lack of appreciation. Are people more concerned with money? Yes. Are people more concerned with their phone? Yeah. It's entertaining, it's bright, it's flashy. This desensitizes us. It makes it so, what used to be these little things that used to matter. A child gives you some silly drawing, and it's not good. It's terrible. It's just some like crayon and a stick figure or something. But you hang it up, you value it, you cherish it because it's a child, or I guess the better example would be your own child. You don't cherish it because of the outcome. You cherish it because of the effort that was put into it. It was the thought that mattered. It doesn't matter that the thing itself is ultimately unimpressive or directly not impressive or even directly abhorrent. It's the effort that mattered. And the problem is, specifically with algorithms, but it's another thing that has been going on for a long time, our threshold for satisfaction has just gone through the roof, because the degree that we are satisfied is so high. We are so satisfied. We are so flooded with all these amazing brain chemicals and joy and happiness and entertainment. It's to such a significant degree that we become spoiled, because this entity, this source, TikTok, does not have to put a speck of effort into anything. It doesn't need to put effort. It just is a system that automatically curates everything you could ever want. And so this emphasis of the effort of care is completely wiped off the map. It's no longer a part of the equation. Our brains kind of get trained to forget the concept of effort. How many years did it take for humanity to develop the technology for TikTok to even be possible? I don't even think we can put into words how much effort it took for the infrastructure to be built for the internet, for the manufacturing and the creation of smartphones. It's taken all of recorded history, as far as we know. And that amount of effort is ultimately entirely invisible. It's not visible to us. You just get the app and you load it up And you're instantly getting a super dosage of whatever you want. An immediate super dosage. Nobody has to waste any effort. Nobody has to waste any time. It is what it is. There's no effort involved at all. We've already lost it. A child, and I think in general now, I almost wonder how much people just dismiss the drawings that the children draw. Do they just take them and swipe away, swipe to the next thing, crumple it up, throw it out? It sounds crazy, but that's what we do. Every single time we engage with these platforms, every single time we engage with these platforms, we're consenting to that kind of behavior. We're going through a ritual where stuff is presented to us and we dismiss it as not good enough. We blow it off. We don't notice it. Think about how evil this is. Think about how cruel it is. It makes people haphazard. It makes people less able to have a clear focus on things. And this affects both parties. You may think that it only affects one, but it doesn't. It affects who's doing the giving. A person who has to give to another, who has to give, will not feel like being as meticulous. They'll rush, they'll gloss over certain details. If somebody's making a meal for somebody, it's inevitable because they have other motivations. After they're done cooking this special birthday meal, oh, let me get through this fast so I can get back on TikTok. Or to do this, or to do that. Boom, boom, boom. Optimize, optimize. You know, we've talked about this nature, this modern nature, and how unrelaxing it's become, how inefficient, how unoptimal things have become. So it makes it so both sides feel the same way. One side gives and expects the gratitude very quickly. The other side receives and expects the perfection very quickly. It's a direct result of modernity and the media and the mediums that we engage with. And every time you take part in that ritual, that's what you're doing. You're consenting to this idea that things can just be tossed aside. People can just be swiped away. When you're in a conversation with a person, you can't just do that. You have to actually sit. You have to actually listen. You can't just not do anything. You have to sit. You have to listen. You can't swipe away. You can't get bored and swipe away. When you're in a stressful situation, you can't just swipe on to the next thing. We've conditioned ourselves to just be so fried and ungrateful. Jokes start to seem less funny, less enticing, because the brightness of the algorithm takes us over. The brightness of the algorithm takes us over. Sorry, I'm thinking. I mean, this is kind of a deeper go with this, so I'm kind of just reflecting on this. It takes effort out of the equation and it changes our brain. It changes our brain's ability to put effort into the things that we do to the same degree. I think this is something that can separate me from other people. Sure, there's well, and in some ways I relate to it too, because I notice with myself as I've gotten older, some things just become very hard to do. You get lazy. You don't feel like it. You can't put in that much effort. But in the same sense, I still have a drive or a motivation for optimization. And that's led to things like putting in the necessary time to get this perfect microphone, for example. So I feel like I feel both sides of it. You know, I'm mindful, but I'm also, yeah. Yeah. I think maybe that's why I have an ability to articulate it, because I feel like I live within it and yet I'm not of it. I live amongst it, but not of it. I have some of the same problems, but not all of them. And maybe my mind is just more active and intact even during the more mindless moments. My mind is not typically shutting off or shut off. And I think that's why. Now, in some ways, yeah, I just think I have a feeling a lot more people's minds just shut off more often, and there's no signal. It's also why I'm able to talk and generate so much, because if you have an active mind, a mind that is awake, then you're going to pick up on things. You're going to have things to say. You're going to be connecting things. You're awake and aware to realize these things. I think that's basically been what's happened to me. Because I'm definitely not perfect. In a lot of ways, as I'm reflecting all this, I see it in myself. Of course, I observe it in other people, but then when I'm thinking about it, reflecting on the situation, yeah, I guess we're all a part of it, really, to varying degrees. And we each end up at one of these parties where we're tasked with receiving or we're tasked with giving. And what is the right choice? What is the right decision? It's hard to say, and that's why I said it's a conundrum. It's a dilemma. It's one of those things that you can't win. A paradox. I don't know if I'm using that term 100% correctly. I guess it is a paradox because, yeah, it does seem like a lose-lose situation. It's a paradox, you know. And here was going to be my culminating point. It just came back to me that in this day and age, in this reality, we put up with the people around us. Obviously, these behaviors come from those around us. And I think the sad truth is that love and romance is not this fairy tale. And that, honestly, the case is if it's just too much, too much of the disappointment, too much of not being able to pull through, too much disappointment. After a while, one of the people involved is just going to fizzle out. They're just not going to feel like dealing with it anymore. They just won't. Eventually, something's got to give, something's got to break. You know, you can't go on like this forever. Can we? No, we really can't. We just can't. And things fizzle out. And I think this is something that deep down everybody kind of knows and is aware of in some way. We all have insecurity of this potentially happening to us. I guess some people don't. I guess some people just think that the other person will always put up with things and nothing will really come of it. Things won't fizzle out. You know, I think some people, they get quite confident in themselves. They don't really worry too much. They're not really insecure. But it sometimes happens to them too. You can never be too careful, and yet at the same time, what can you really do to be careful? It doesn't seem to be it seems to be another paradox. You can never be too careful, but yet even being too careful is never enough. Have we just gotten to the point where these thresholds are too difficult to achieve? Are expectations in relationships and other people, are they just too high? Have we all become these deranged beasts that require so much but give so little? It seems to be what the phone in a lot of ways is doing to the body, what the mega dosage and mega drownage of stimulation does to the mind. Makes us sluggish, even incapable of tolerating the imperfections of the world. The machine can just perfect and perfect and perfect and fix and tweak and do this, do that. But reality is not very fast and it's not very efficient. I actually think my father explained a lot of this stuff to me when I was younger. But I think I understood it, but I didn't understand it. You know, he would try to warn me about the computer and spending too much time on there, and that is kind of what it is, right? You get used to everything being so fixable and oh, just change this, oh, just update quick. And then, you know, get bored, oh, do this now, you know, like it just becomes like a maniac kind of thing. It's not anything that is good. It's nothing good when it's used incorrectly. Now, technology has a huge capability to be a wonderful thing. You can learn so much, and it really is amazing. But it's misused, and it creates where we are now. And these problems, these issues that we face, that we have to figure out, is it ever going to be good enough? Is anything ever going to be good enough for people? We're so miserable, but why? I guess that's kind of what it is. Like, we're trying too hard. Wow. What a realization. Anyways, it has been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.